Hi, welcome to Edison TV. My name is Aaron Atkar, and I'm a healthcare analyst here at Edison. We're joined today by Kevin Crofton, chair at Creo Medical. Creo is a UK-based company focused on minimally invasive surgical devices. Kevin, welcome.
Thank you, Aaron. Great to be here.
So, Creo recently presented its 2024 results. Can you give us some of the key takeaways from your point of view?
Sure. I mean, there's so much to bring forward. This whole year has been a pivotal year for Creo, and there's so many different aspects associated with that. We've had a major transaction that occurred with Microte, which we'll talk about later. We've gone through a massive change in the cost structure of the company to get it fit for purpose for where we're headed. We've taken a lot of the optimism or risk out of our revenue plan. We've gotten to a point where we have so many investigators. We've got 38 investigators, 14 different sites, 11 different countries, looking at 11 different indications. I mean, it's just a massive change to the company's situation right now. And we're well positioned in the plan that we have in place going forward. And the team has done an incredible job doing that. And I should point out that we've had 3 straight quarters of operational excellence. The team has done exactly what they said they were going to do every step of the way for the last 3 quarters. And that's a bit of a change for Creo as well.
So the core device portfolio for Creo has been expanded in recent months. So can you talk us through some of these latest additions and what the initial market perception has been?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. I'll probably get some of the terminology wrong. So my colleagues at Creo are going to have to forgive me for that, and you as well. So I'm new to the market, as you know, and I've been at Creo for only 9 months now. So let me try to address your question specifically. Up until this point, up until 2024, Creo was a single product entity, one product on a generator. And if you look at what's happened since over the course of 2024, we've released or put into the marketplace 5 new products, which means we've got a complementary product portfolio that we can take to market quite aggressively. And I'll focus on 2 of those for just a minute. First is the Spider Blade Flex product. It's a novel, unique instrument that is used for endoscopy surgery. It uses bipolar technology to really treat indications in the esophagus, in the stomach, and even in the bowel. So it has quite a number of uses that are associated with it. And as I already mentioned, it's unique. There's nothing else like it in the industry. So we've released this product. Since its launch, it's gone over 100 cases. It's commercially viable already in Germany, in France, in Spain. The second product is the Speedboat Notch. And this is a modification to our flagship product line, the Speedboat product line. And it actually was a modification to that product that has been pulled by clinicians. They wanted this change, this feature, and we added it to it during the course of the year. And as a result, of course, you get a lot of pull as well. Again, for esophagus, for bowel, etc. And I have to say, this is the addition of a very, very strong portfolio. It's what we're basing our business plan on. They're known products. Speedboat is going to be 90% of our revenue in 25, but in 26, that's going to drop to maybe 75%. And these new products that are launched will start to take effect.
So Creo recently sold a 51% stake in its European business to Microte. Yeah. So the question is, why Microte, and how's this decision going to support future growth?
Yeah, I think this is truly a transformative business opportunity for the company. Microte needed a company like Creo Medical Europe to be able to expand their footprint into Europe. And we provide that platform for them. On the other hand, though, they were a very good probable relationship with ourselves. They have manufacturing capability. They offer an opportunity to enter the Chinese market. Of course, they had cash, which is something that the company needed. There's just so many benefits that come from this relationship that we really couldn't have had with anybody else in the industry. It helps our balance sheet. It gives us cash to be able to do the things that we need to do to be able to fund ourselves into profitability.
I see. So Creo's deal with Intuitive is another particularly interesting one. So can you tell us a bit more about the current status and when we might expect a full commercial launch on that front?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, Intuitive, the relationship between Creo and Intuitive has gone through multiple iterations. Originally, it was meant to be an R&D program with 3 phases that we would go on to the flagship product, Ion, Intuitive's Ion product, and then ultimately go on their next generation product called Da Vinci. We got to the point where the Microblade Flex as a tool, as an instrument, was on the Ion platform for lung ablation treatments. And in fact, it worked so well that phase 3 to go on to the Gen 5 platform got delayed. But what that ended up doing, though, is it brought forward the commercialization of the current Ion with Microblade Flex on it. So where are we in that process? Well, we've got a 6-site program going on. 2 of the sites are up and running. 2 more will be in place by the end of this quarter. We should have the final 2 sites up and running by the end of the year, perhaps in early 2026. And as a result, once those studies happen, in fact, once we're halfway through, we'll be able to start to publish results, particularly as it relates to safety. After that, we'll start looking at efficacy. So the short answer is, in 2026 and 2027, we'll start to see the pull from Intuitive via their sales channel. But I should also say we already are commercially selling this product. Without going into the price, I don't think it's appropriate to do that here, but we have already sold this product on an individual basis at the Royal Brompton Hospital. So it's in the marketplace and it's real. It's a great relationship. Sometime in the future, phase 3 will help or will come. But I would also say there are other robotic companies that are aware of Creo's competence in this space. And I suspect that we'll see some engagement with some of those robotic companies in the future.
Looking again at the 2024 results for Creo, cost control is clearly an important feature of that. And Creo reported $5 million in annualized cost savings to be fully realized in 2025. So talk to us about what's the significance of this and can we expect similar sort of stringent cost control going forwards?
We are absolutely focused on cost control. No question about that. And I think that that's a discipline that every company needs to have, not just a Creo, for example. So what the team's done is taken roughly 20%, maybe a little bit more of our cost out of the company's cost base. There probably will be more that'll come as natural attrition occurs. I don't see us doing anything in a major way in any time frame. But we'll keep our eye on the cost basis. It's important that we did this. We have the size of the business for what it is, not what we wanted it to be, not what we hoped it would be, but for what it is. And that kind of goes all the way back to my comment earlier. We wanted to take the risk, or I should say the hope and the optimism that was in our business plan, like these robotic deals, or like a much more rapid growth in revenue. We've tried to temper those expectations so that we can have a very achievable business line. But as a result, we also had to look at our cost structure. So we'll always be looking. But I think we're well positioned for where we need to be at the moment.
Taking a step back now, the US is clearly going to be a key market for Creo now and going forwards. So can you talk to us a bit about the tariff situation and any potential impact for Creo?
Okay, look, that's a difficult one, truly. I mean, the geopolitical situation is, as we all know, it's crazy. And so trying to anticipate what is going to come out of the current administration in the U.S. is day to day. For Creo, right now, yes, in theory, we would be subject to a 10% tariff. That's true. However, we have measures in that we can do production in the United States and avoid some of the tariff conditions, so that net, the implication for us right now is quite minimal. So it's not something that we stay up nights worrying about at this point.
Okay. So we've got to wrap up now, but just one final question for you. Creo's now got a strengthened balance sheet. So can you talk to us about how this is going to be used to support plans for longer term growth and work towards break even for Creo?
Yeah, I think as we've tried to project, we envision break even, both EBITDA and as well as cash flow positive, no later than 2028. That's what we're telling the world at this point. With a little bit of wind in our sails, we could be quite ahead of that. What we're going to fund is anything to do with the go-to-market activities, the sales side, the marketing side, clinical studies, because oftentimes we have to fund that as well. So those are going to be the things that we have to fund to be able to grow the top line of the company. Of course, we'll still continue to add products, so we will fund product development. But the speculative product lines, like Comaptive, like the robotic surgical suite activities, we won't fund that unless we have a partner that wants to fund the R&D. So again, we'll fund anything to do to get into the market and to help us grow. We will fund the development of new products to go into our portfolio, but we will be very, very cautious about how we go about doing that.
Fantastic. Well, that brings us to a close. For our audience, if you'd like to learn more, please visit the Creo website or access our research at edisongroup.com. Kevin, thanks very much for coming in today. It's been a pleasure.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.